Far away, across a street or on top of a building, something catches the eye. A sign, a window, a face in the distance. The phone comes out, fingers pinch the screen, zoom slides in. And suddenly the question appears, is that real detail, or did the phone just make it up? This is where modern phone cameras now live. Not just capturing what is there, but deciding what should be there. Samsung and Pixel sit at the center of this shift. Both promise powerful zoom. Both promise clarity from far away. But only one question truly matters. When the zoom goes deep, who is showing the truth and who is quietly guessing? Zoom used to be simple. Optical zoom meant moving glass. The closer the lens, the better the detail. Digital zoom meant cropping. Cropping meant loss. Everyone understood the trade-off. But that world no longer exists. Phones now use layers of software, machine learning, and pattern prediction to fill in what the sensor cannot see. At high zoom, the image on the screen is no longer just a photo. It is a decision. Samsung takes one path. Pixel takes another. The results may look similar at first glance, but look closer and the differences start to matter. Have you ever zoomed in and felt impressed, only to zoom a bit more and feel something was off? Samsung's approach is built on reach, multiple telephoto lenses, extremely high megapixel counts. Zoom numbers that stretch all the way to 100x. On paper, it sounds unbeatable. The phone sees farther than almost anything else in your pocket. But seeing far and seeing clearly are not the same thing. At lower zoom levels, Samsung's images feel confident. Edges look crisp, text holds shape, fine lines stay defined. Buildings look solid, trees look like trees. This is where hardware still matters. Real lenses gather real light. Real sensors capture real structure. In this range, the image feels grounded. It feels earned, but then the zoom keeps going. Past the comfort zone, past where optics alone can help. At this point, the phone has a choice. Show noise and blur or step in and fix it. Samsung chooses to fix it. AI sharpening begins to appear, contrast increases. Edges grow bolder, patterns become cleaner than they should be. The photo still looks impressive, but something subtle changes. The image starts to look more illustrated than captured. Have you ever noticed how letters at extreme zoom start to look perfect, even when the light was bad? Pixel approaches zoom from a different direction. It relies less on extreme reach and more on reconstruction. Instead of pushing numbers, it studies patterns, textures, shapes. It asks what this object usually looks like, then rebuilds it piece by piece. The result can feel softer at first glance, but more natural overall. At medium zoom, Pixel images often look calmer, less aggressive sharpening, less edge boosting. Details do not jump out as much, but they sit where they should. Brick walls look uneven, leaves look messy, skin looks imperfect. It may not wow immediately, but it feels closer to how the scene actually looked. Then the zoom increases. The phone no longer has enough real data. This is where Pixel's AI becomes more visible. The phone starts filling gaps. Letters become readable again. Lines straighten, shapes gain clarity. But this clarity comes from learned behavior, not captured light. The image becomes a best guess. Is that a problem? That depends on the use. If the goal is readability, Pixel often succeeds. If the goal is realism, things become complicated. At extreme zoom, both phones are creating something new. The difference lies in how honest that creation feels. Samsung's zoom tends to look bold, high contrast, strong edges. The photo looks dramatic, even heroic. Pixel's zoom looks restrained. Softer tones, less punch, more caution. Which one feels more real to you when you zoom in on a distant sign or face? There is a moment in every zoom test where the truth reveals itself. It happens when you stop looking at the whole image and start looking at the mistakes. Edges that repeat too cleanly. Textures that look painted. Fine details that appear where none should exist. This is where AI leaves fingerprints. Samsung's mistakes often come from confidence. The phone commits hard to its guess. If it thinks a line should be straight, it makes it straight. If it thinks a letter should be sharp, it sharpens it fully. When it is right, the result looks amazing. When it is wrong, the result looks artificial. Pixel's mistakes come from caution. It hesitates. It blends. It smooths. Sometimes this leads to loss of micro detail. Other times, it preserves the scene's mood even when detail is missing. The image may look less exciting, but more believable. Which one would you trust if accuracy mattered more than impact? Lighting changes everything. In bright daylight, both phones perform well. There is enough information for the AI to work with. At night, the balance shifts. Zoom night photos are where reality and imagination collide. Samsung often brightens aggressively. Shadows lift, highlights pop, details appear where darkness once lived. The photo becomes usable, but not always truthful. Pixel tends to respect the darkness more. It keeps shadows heavy. It allows blur to remain. The scene looks darker, but closer to the moment. Have you ever taken a night photo that looked better than what your eyes saw? Did it feel impressive or unsettling? Movement adds another layer. A person walking in the distance, a car passing by, a flag moving in the wind. Zoom struggles with motion. The AI must decide which parts to freeze and which parts to smooth. This is where both phones reveal limits. Samsung often freezes detail at the cost of natural motion. The subject may look sharp, but the movement feels paused, almost staged. Pixel allows more blur, accepting that motion cannot always be corrected. The result feels less clean, but more alive. Zoom is not just about distance, it is about intent. Why are you zooming? To read a sign? To capture a moment? To show something clearly? Each phone answers these needs differently. If the goal is impact, Samsung often wins. The image looks impressive on a screen. Social media loves sharpness. Bold contrast stands out. The photo looks powerful at a glance. But power comes with risk. At high zoom, the line between enhancement and invention grows thin. If the goal is believability, Pixel often feels safer. The image may not shout, but it whispers truth. The AI steps in quietly, trying not to overstep. It still invents when needed, but with restraint. The result feels more photographic, even when it is not fully real. So who is faking detail? The honest answer is both. At extreme zoom, neither phone is showing pure reality. Physics does not allow it. Small sensors and tiny lenses cannot see that far with clarity. AI must step in. The question is not whether detail is fake, but how it is faked. Samsung fakes detail loudly. Pixel fakes detail carefully. One prioritizes wow. The other prioritizes trust. Which one matters more depends on the person holding the phone. Think about the last time you zoomed in on something far away. Did you want proof, or did you want a usable image? Did you want drama or accuracy? This is the future of phone photography. Cameras are no longer passive tools. They are active interpreters. They decide what you see. They decide what matters. Zoom is just the most obvious place where this decision becomes visible. As AI continues to improve, the line will blur even further. Photos will look clearer, sharper, more detailed than ever. But the question will remain. Is this what was there, or what the phone believes should be there? Next time the zoom slider moves past its safe zone, pause for a moment. Look closely. Ask what you are really seeing. Is it the world, or is it a prediction of the world? Remember, once phones start guessing, photography is no longer just about capturing reality. It becomes about choosing which version of reality feels right. Subscribe to stay updated on more real-world camera tests, side-by-side comparisons, and deep dives into how AI is quietly changing everyday photography. And if there is a phone, camera feature, or AI tool that deserves a closer look, drop it in the comments. The next test could be built around that suggestion.